Hi guys, welcome back to August Love Story, the channel. My name is Artieka.
And I'm Tommy.
And today we are reviewing Married at First Sight, season 14, episode 7. And that episode is titled, This Is My Decision Day. If you guys haven't already, please take a minute to subscribe to the channel, turn on the notification bell, and like this video. You ready to get into this here review?
Let's do it.
All right. So they're leaving Puerto Rico. Today's the day to leave their honeymoon.
Yeah.
And everyone except for Alyssa is moving into the neutral apartment building. I guess we can go ahead and start with Alyssa and Chris, since this is the last time we'll ever have to talk about them. Hopefully.
Yeah.
So Alyssa decided she wasn't gonna move in. Chris did move in. Alyssa met with her mom while Chris met with one of his frisbee. What he be playing?
Disc golf. That's what it's called.
His disc golf friends.
That was one of his friends, though.
I know. I was just saying they were playing the game, and I was trying to remember what
they
the game
were
was.
playing, wasn't
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Alyssa was talking to her mom, and her mom asked her what were the differences in their core values that Alyssa keeps saying is happening, or keeps saying is an issue there. What she say? There's differences in their core values, and he's not a nice person.
Yeah,
I can't remember what the other.
Like, I felt like she was lying to her mom.
She was.
About a bunch of stuff.
She was lying to everybody, including herself. So, when she asked her mom asked that question, she told her mom that
he treats her bad. That's what it was.
Mm-hmm. But he don't treat her any kind of way because she doesn't let him.
Yeah.
She told her mom that they had a difference in core values, and her mom asked what's the difference, and she said that he's posted about defunding the police and she believes in first responders. I was like, all right, so forget what people really say about the differences in core values. She has, in my opinion, white woman this situation way past the edge of the property line.
Yeah.
I don't know if that could have been a conversation. I don't know if it could have been a healthy debate. I don't know if Chris was trolling. I don't know if Chris thought it was a mistake. I don't know if Chris really agrees with defunding the police. I don't know if she understands his actual stance on defunding the police, because I don't think that people hear what other people are saying based on their political views.
Yeah. No, they don't. They just, they see what's being put out on TV.
Right.
Basically.
So I have a cousin who's very, very huge in movement law.
Yeah.
I think that's the easiest way to explain what she does. And we had a long conversation about defunding the police, because I was like, I don't understand. What, like, help me.
Yeah.
Bridge the gap. And like, she explained it so well that it's like, okay, if we actually sat back and listened to what each side was saying, like, it wasn't that I was for or against anything. I'm just
trying to get
I'm ignorant to the party.
Yeah, just
like, somebody explained it to me. She explained it so well that it was like, okay, I get what you're saying. You're not saying police don't need to exist. You're saying we should put in different services for different things. The police shouldn't be called when somebody's having a suicidal attempt.
Yeah.
Things like that. So I think that some of the stuff could have been fixed with a conversation, and maybe they could have come to a agree to disagree.
I think Alyssa is saying things to to sweeten the deal as far as how she looks and portrayed. But like defunding the police or him posting about defunding the police, that's always a conversation for somebody to have. And the simple question is why? You know what I'm saying? But in her case, it's an add-on. It's a cherry on top in a sense, because initially she wasn't attracted to or isn't attracted to him. This
reminds me of the day that you posted on Facebook asking about student loan forgiveness.
Yeah. Oh, my dear.
I can't remember exactly what your question was, but you were basically like, okay, so what's the problem with student loan forgiveness? Yeah. You weren't saying I'm for it, I'm against it. You were just like
curious to know what's
I want to know, what do you think about student loan forgiveness? And he had someone who's not talking to him anymore, apparently, go on this long tirade about these are your loans. You should take up, like, you need to pay for them. I'm paying for my kids to go to college. And he's like, okay, but what if they erased your kids too? And she just didn't want to hear anything else that he had to say. And it was just one of those things. It's like, he didn't say, hey, all these loans need to be forgiven or these people shouldn't have to pay them. He's literally like asking a question. I'm wondering, what was Chris's stance to this whole
Chris' stance was what he said. He just, like, I don't know as far as like inside the conversation, but he posted it. And so you have to believe that that's what he believes. Because what Chris was saying, Nick, well, let me finish. Nick was his friend who is a police officer that his friend Nick, I'm pretty sure they sat down and had a conversation about it, because like for y'all to be friends, for you to be as close of friends, for him to invite you on TV
to his wedding and to Married at First Sight in general.
Right. You definitely have to have had that conversation. So you had that conversation enough to understand that wherever you stand is okay with a police officer.
Right.
So what she's arguing about is irrelevant to the whole fact, because first off, she never had a conversation.
Like, right. That's what I was getting at.
Her issues with him is not from what he actually did. It's from what she heard.
Right.
And that's the issue that a lot of people or me personally, I have with her, because you never gave this a shot.
Right. She started off by saying on the wedding night, we have fundamental differences. And I'm like, you didn't see his Instagram on the wedding night. So what was the fundamental difference on the wedding night?
Right. I wasn't attracted to you. Say that. Like, I respect that more than all this BS that she's been talking about.
It's so crazy though, because like I go back to Chris and Paige, because Chris was the number one villain of Married at First Sight.
His whole premise was, I'm just being honest.
Right. And if Alyssa could just be honest.
We never knew how much we respected that until we got here.
I don't get it. It's just, it's one of those things where it's like, okay. I always tell Tommy, it's not about what you're saying, it's how you said it.
Yeah.
And Alyssa didn't know how to say, I'm not attracted to you.
Yeah.
That's what it boiled down to.
I hear you.
But I'm saying that's what it boiled down to, right?
Yeah.
Like, she didn't know how to say, I'm not attracted to you. So she made up all this other stuff around her, and she caused the tornado of I'm a good person.
Yeah.
When literally all she had to say was, hey, I'm not attracted to you. It's cool. Let's ride out this 8 weeks.
Right. That's the easiest thing to do. It's like you sit here and watch it and you're like, just tell a better lie. You know what I'm saying? Just make it up. Like, you can go with the flow.
It doesn't have to be a lie. Literally, I'm not attracted to you. It's okay.
Yeah, let's see what this thing rises to.
I'm not everybody's cup of tea.
Right.
And it's okay. So Chris talked to his friend. He tells his friend about the psychic and the eagle tattoo. And his friend was like, just stop.
Yeah, he was like,
I don't hear anything else about this.
Most people hear the psychic thing and they get turned off.
don't think I would be a person that would be immediately turned off to you having a conversation with a psychic, because me and your cousin were supposed to go do it and we never did. Like, she went about a Groupon thing for us to go and everything.
That's funny.
And I was like, I don't really believe in the psychic, but I mean, I'll go. I don't care. So if you had told me that a psychic told you that your husband was going to have an eagle tattoo, I'd be like, well, did the psychic tell you to go on Married at First Sight?
Right.
Because what's up? He can get an eagle tattoo.
At the reunion, she going to be dating somebody.
At the reunion, she's not going to show up. Anywho.
Chris is going to be dating somebody.
Hopefully. So fast forward past these two scenes with the mom and what's the friend name? Nick.
Yeah.
And we get to Pastor Cal coming over to the house. So Alyssa walked in right before Pastor Cal came in, and they sat down on the couch, and Chris laid out every buzzword Alyssa has used. Robbed, gypped, unsafe. He was like, let me lay everything out for you, Pastor Cal.
Yeah.
And
listen to this.
She said that things happened at the wedding when he didn't look how she wanted him to, and his friends basically didn't help it. I get it. His friends didn't say the right things for you to be marrying a stranger.
But it's crazy when you think back to what his friends said. Mm-hmm. They really didn't say anything like out the way.
No, I'm just saying they didn't.
Like, not to a point to where she, like, what she said is, and she took it to heart and ran with it. It's a character flaw, yes, but it's just the thing that they thought, hey, you have to work with him. He's a great person, but this is him. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Not thinking that it was going to be the thing that held them up. Mm-hmm. And it wasn't. Held.
Chris can come off as condescending, wasn't what held her up. No, I don't like how Chris looks is what held her up. Right. I just want Alyssa to be honest about that part.
Yeah. Yeah.
So she tried to talk up the activities that they did on the honeymoon. She was like, we had a good time when we did this and when we did that. I'm like, did y'all have a good time? Because every time y'all finished an activity, you started crying. Every single time.
She did.
Like, we're going to go play tennis. I don't want him to come over here. He's pointing at things. They do the paddle boarding. Oh, he just looking at him just disgusts me. Like, every time.
What was it? How did the dogs come into the conversation? Because I got in my notes that she is allergic to dogs.
That was not the very next thing, but the thing after that. So the honeymoon activities, then they talked about her not wanting to share a room with him and her using the unsafe connotation. And Pastor Cal was like, did you know you were getting married?
Right.
Because married people sleep in the same room. If not the same room, at least the same house.
Yeah.
Like, but in 2022 or 2021 when this was filmed, the same bed. Like, that's a thing. And then I put, now the rescue girl is allergic to dogs. She was like, I wasn't sure how things were going to go because he has a dog and I have a dog. And what if the dogs don't get along? And then I'm also allergic to dogs. I was like, you rescue dogs? And you're allergic to them. But you're allergic to dogs?
Now it sounds like you're lying. Again.
Sounds like Eric.
I don't remember.
From Atlanta, Eric in Virginia. How Eric was allergic to the cats.
Yeah.
But the cats were around, and then people started finding pictures of him and his exes with cats all around, and he wasn't allergic.
Sounds like that. Yep.
Again, I don't like him. Full stop. He's not attractive to me. Mm-hmm. Full stop.
And that's respect. You can respect that. Like, we all have our thing that we're attracted to.
I think literally the nicest way for her to have said this was, he's not my type. She did say that, but let's eliminate all of the he's disgusting. Mm-hmm. He's like all these other things that came along with it.
Let's stop acting like he's not a human being.
Right.
Let's treat him the way you would want somebody that's not attracted to you to treat you.
Mm-hmm.
You got activities to do. You got things that you have to do. Because you're not attracted to this person does not mean you can't get along with this person.
That's the easiest people to get along with.
That is the easiest people, because
there's
the last
no awkward moments.
Right. The last thing you're trying to do is anything sexual or loving to this person. You don't want this person to die, and you want to be able to have a good time while you're doing whatever it is that you're doing.
Have a good time wherever I go.
Yeah.
Whatever I do. And Alyssa does not.
Yeah.
So
Chris brought down the hammer, didn't he?
Yeah. So basically, Alyssa said Pastor Cal asked her to tell him how she felt. She said the most words that she said to him since they got married. Then he says, "Today's my decision day. I want a divorce." And she started crying. I think she started crying because she wanted to be the one.
Yeah.
To not want to continue this.
Well, him doing because think about it, him saying that I want a divorce eliminates her from going to the apartment.
And hanging out with her friends.
And hanging out with her friends.
Now nobody needs to see you do anything anywhere with anyone.
No,
that
because
felt very Claire Huxtable when I said it.
Because you're not a part of the show anymore.
Yay. As Lily says. All right, so done with them. Praise God.
Yeah.
We go to Katina and Elijah one.
Let's do it.
So Elijah one gets on my nerves. They get to the neutral space. They start off in the kitchen, and he wants to talk about her not cooking. I just want to know, how did you survive life before a wife if cooking is mandatory for this relationship? She says she will make sure that he is fed.
Mm-hmm. That's going to bite him in the butt, man. I just, like, for me, it's such a 1950, 1960 ideal way of thinking.
Mm-hmm.
Like, in 2022, or in this case, in 2021, this girl has a career.
Mm-hmm.
She has a career just like you have a career.
And why does she have to be the one to come home and make all the meals?
Right. Like, why is it expected for her to, like, automatically that's what she's going to do?
Because he said something along the lines of, well, you know, when I was single, I would just get up in the morning, make myself a peanut butter sandwich and head out the door. I can't do that anymore. Why can't you?
That's what I was thinking. What changes? You know, if you want to eat breakfast together and that's something you guys decide on and agree upon, then you plan it out.
And typically, at least from most of the couples that I know, mornings, even with like before kids, like when it's just two people in a relationship in the house, mornings are usually not the time that everybody has a lot of time.
Mm-hmm.
So we're not eating breakfast together anyways, because you're trying to rush out the house to go where you need to go. I'm trying to rush out the house to go where I need to go. And it just doesn't work.
Mm-hmm.
I remember at one point you had a job where you waking up at like, well, you still do that now too, but waking up at 5 o'clock in the morning, and I was getting up at like 6 o'clock in the morning, and we were heading two different directions. Like, we don't have time to say anything but hey and bye.
Mm-hmm.
It was just, it's not a thing. Katina needs to get her like a, what is it? HelloFresh Green Chef and be like, look, this is what we gonna do. You gonna chop. I'm gonna saute. And we'll flip on bacon.
I just think I just think him and this idea that she needs to cook, he needs to approach it differently.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think like, oh, she needs to cook. She needs to cook. And he
understands
how that sounds.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's the crazy part
about it.
But
it's not changing what he's saying. Right. That's the issue.
And that's the issue. It's like he understands how that sounds, and it's not what he wants.
Mm-hmm.
But it's what he wants. He wants somebody to cater to him.
Mm-hmm. This is what he imagined marriage to be. Yeah. Someone making his meals and him coming in saying, oh, babe, this is good.
Yeah. What Pastor Kyle call it? Barefoot and pregnant.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, it's life to me is not set up that way anymore. You know?
Right. So I don't remember them going to Katina's apartment, but they did go to Elijah's house, and he kept asking her, did she like things in the house? And she was like, I got to put my touch on it. And I was like,
y'all need to sell this house.
The hardest thing is to move into someone else's space and attempt to make it y'all space. Because typically whomever owned the home or had the apartment first, like whatever it may be, is territorial with their things. You were like that. Like, it took we had to like literally experience a fire, y'all. Like, our apartment caught on fire. And that's how we got to be able to get rid of things in our home become more ours than yours or mine. And I don't want to wish a fire on anybody, because Lord Jesus. But I think that something has to happen where she can like put her feminine touch on the house, or her decorating skills can be used in the house.
I think just them getting to know each other a lot better. Like, it was weird that he kept asking, do you like this? And then she say, no, I'll change like the curtains. The curtains were terrible.
Those curtains were ugly.
and he was like, and she was like, nah, I'll change that and we can paint it here and stuff like that. And then he has an issue with it. It's like, you gotta see it. He was like, it's gonna cost money.
He wants to pick up a wife and drop her in.
And no, it don't work that way. Y'all gotta, like, once they realize how to work together, because now they're still on this dream of being married at first sight and everything. So they're not seeing how to work together or what it looks like or what it feels like just yet. But you know, he's going in and asking those things. She's like, nah, I don't like that. I don't like that. He'll start to get, okay, she don't like these. She don't like that. It's either going to be, he's going to let up and allow her to do it, or they're going to have to sell the house.
Or maybe not sell the house, but rent it out and move somewhere else together.
Yeah, they're going to have to do something, because it is a territory thing. Buying a house is a big thing for everybody. You know, and for somebody to come in and just like, nope, don't like this, don't like that, you know, it's going to cause some friction.
It was one of those situations. Don't ask me.
That's how I feel too. Why ask?
Because he specifically was like, what you think about this? And she's like, I don't like the curtains. You don't like my curtains? No, they're ugly.
Them curtains were terrible, man.
No, I don't like your curtains. Did these come with the house?
Somebody's grandmama gave him them curtains.
Probably his mama.
Yeah.
His mama was at Goodwill, found them, and was like, Elijah, want to need some kitchen curtains?
That's what it was. He needed some kitchen curtains.
And those were the ones.
Those were what somebody had.
So Pastor Cal comes over. Apparently, Katina cooked right before Pastor Cal came. And he said it smelled good in there. So they get to the topic of the cooked meals, and Pastor Cal said, Elijah, you did not list this as a deal breaker, or even on your list of things that you wanted in a wife when you made this. He was like, but it's really high on my list. You did not say this.
Right.
Like, I looked at your paper. That ain't what it said.
Right, he didn't say that on it.
And so they basically tried to come to an agreement of figuring that all out. And then they talk about not consummating their marriage. And he says that it's been his decision. When we watched the after party, Katina was like, it is not his decision.
Yeah.
She's like, honestly, like, I wasn't there yet. And he might be saying that he's holding back for whatever reason, but I still wasn't there yet. So he could have been all in on having sex, but I'm still not ready. And when he said it was his decision, I was like, no, it wouldn't.
Right.
It couldn't have been. Because
my thing is, if she was like ready to bust it open right then and there, he'd be like, all right.
He'd be trying to phone a friend.
Not phone a friend. Nah, I just feel like, you know, he wants I still think he's trying to convince himself that this is where he want to be, and he doesn't want to come off too masculine. I want to say if that's the best.
Misogynistic is the word.
That's it. He doesn't want to come off misogynistic, but
he is.
Yeah, essentially he is, and it's like you have to be your true self in order to see if this thing gonna work. And if you don't, you're gonna be required to be a different person, and that's not gonna work. Yeah. At some point, you're gonna be tired of putting on this show, and like, just be like, all right, cooking is important. How do you, why do you know, come to the terms and figure out why is it important for her to cook for you? Because he's not saying we have meals, we eat this, we eat dinner together, or we eat lunch together, or, you know, every day we eat a meal together. No, he's saying you have to cook. For me, that's silly. You know what I'm saying? It's like
they both also live in the city where their families live. If my mama called me to come eat,
dog,
that's what we eat.
Look, me and your mama has had this conversation. It's like if we lived in the same city, I would come by your house every day.
Because my mom cooks. Just about every day.
Yeah.
But that's been my mom. That wasn't something that happened because my mom got a husband. That's been my mom.
But and
probably because my mom had kids at 18.
Right.
Whatever.
And then my response, and to further that conversation, I said, but you know, when we cooked and, you know, and I grilled, I will always bring you something, or you come by and you get it, you know, because how I enjoy.
My mama would be putting in her orders on.
She sure would.
For the summertime barbecue holidays.
Man.
She would call you the week before and be like, I got some ribs over here. Yeah. When you want me to drop them off?
I bet.
But that would be y'all's relationship.
Right. So it's like allow those relationships to form, because that for me and you, one of the things I enjoy the most is when we do cookout. Just because you get a chance to see both of us doing something in the kitchen together, you know, or working. It's like working around each other, but with each other that fits to get the same result.
I guess.
Like your food goes along with my food, and it just all works. So that's the thing with Elijah and Katina, man. I just feel like he's this misogynistic mindset that he has to figure out a way to let it go. And
it's way too rigid.
Yeah.
It's not something as simple as I would like for my wife to not cheat on me.
Right. Let's start there.
It's not something that's that simple. His is no, my wife has to cook dinner for me every single night.
Yeah.
And that's like, well, what if she's sick? You not gonna eat that week? Like, what if she get the flu?
That's just, I don't know, man. But I hope he gets it together and figures it out. He seems open to the suggestions. And Katina seems very open to the suggestions. So Katina needs to actually speak up a little bit more for herself, because you remember the Mike Tyson interview with Robin Givens? When she like sat there and basically told America that he like hits on her. And he just he's sitting there listening to it, like watching it. And he didn't have a response to it. That's how I felt like Katina was like sitting there.
Katina has it in her. I see it. I saw it with Lindsay.
Yeah.
And I know it could be even like more, I don't want to say abrupt, but like more, let me tell you where you got me messed up with her spouse.
Yeah.
Because with Lindsay, she was like, I'm gonna tell you what I'm gonna say, and then I'm gonna leave this alone. But with a spouse, it's I'm gonna tell you what you're gonna say. You can have a rebuttal, but I'm gonna come back at you with the facts. We can find a resolve in the middle, but I'm gonna tell you what I'm not gonna do.
Yeah.
And she definitely has that in her. I just want to see her do it, because he pokes and he's looking for that.
Yeah.
And she just hasn't given it to him yet.
Right. And that's what, man, that's what she needs to do. for them to actually progress.
All right. So next is Lindsay and Mark.
And Mike.
So
they got tired of each other. That's essentially what happened with them.
So they get to the neutral apartment. She starts off telling him, take out your clothes that need to be washed. You get your stuff that needs to be washed, and I'll wash your clothes, and then we'll go. And you're gonna have to stop drinking out of plastic water bottles. I'm gonna get you a sustainable water bottle. She's like, it was just like nonstop talking about things, and I was like, Lindsay.
When she said something about the water bottle, I was like, oh, that's cool. When she was like, I'm gonna get you a water bottle, sustainable water. I was like, oh, that's
Did you think that about
cool.
the water canteen that you take to work every day?
Oh, yeah.
That was the exciting part of it for you?
Like, if I don't have my canteen, man, I'm gonna be like, man, where's my cup? And then that's how I started using the red one. Anyway, it's not about us. It's about Lindsay and Mark.
Okay, so after that, they go to bed. They get up the next day, and they get dressed in full hazmat suits.
Yeah.
To go grab his clothes. All I was thinking in the process of this is when we get all of these clothes, I said it like I'm there. When we get all of these clothes and we put them in these bags, where are these clothes going? Because I know that heat, from what I've read, heat kills bed bugs. Mm-hmm. Who got a sauna? That we finna go put these clothes in?
You can't take them to the dry cleaner. Like, I don't want
the laundromat to get my bed bugs.
I feel you. I just, first off, when I was watching, I forgot that they had to go to his house and he needed to move out. But the fact that he was moving out and they had bed bugs and like all his furniture and stuff was gone, mm-hmm. I would have been like, I'm about to start over. I would have took all the, like, my trophies, my awards, anything that bed bugs couldn't live on. I would
say the things they can't infiltrate.
Right. Anything they couldn't live on. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm going to pack that and take that. But clothes and, like, if I had an old Letterman jacket, I'll keep that and preserve it however I needed to, mm-hmm. because it has a memory attached to it. But regular clothes, trash it.
I got 8 weeks of salary. I'm not paying rent. Let's start this wardrobe thing.
Let's start it over, man, and go from there. Like, bed bugs creep me out.
Bed bugs in general. Yeah. You know, I get Lindsay's.
Worms don't creep me out, though.
Can't wait to see you and Lillian Worms this summer in the garden.
I can't wait to see that.
The thing with Lindsay is I like her gotta get it done attitude.
Yeah.
Like, let's not cry over the spilled milk. The milk is on the floor. Let's figure out how to clean it up. It can be annoying, and obviously it gets the mark because we're going to get to that. But I do like that initiative that she takes. But I was just like, I need more details in the plan for the bed bugs and the clothes that we are taking to this new space that is an apartment building. The bed bugs can go everywhere. It's just, I see a vicious cycle here.
And she said in one of the confessionals that she's had bed bugs before, mm-hmm. so that's why it's not. So
No, I get that because I had a coworker who had bed bugs in her house, and she was able to. They weren't in her clothes, or they didn't get in her furniture. She still got rid of all her furniture, but it was in the carpet, mm-hmm. and so her apartment complex literally had her remove all of her furniture. She was just like, get rid of it anyways. And she was able to they got rid of the carpet. They sprayed everything down, and then she was able to move back in. Mm. I know that in some situations it can be that simple. In other situations, it can be a little bit more involved. Mm. I don't know what level Mark stuff was at, but I just was like, can I hear the plan? Because I want to know what the plan is. Right, and maybe it's just me being nosy, but I wanted to get the plan. So his furniture was gone. And then they were going through the house and looking at things that he was going to keep. And you probably have never watched Marie Kondo, but she's on Netflix, and she's always like, does this spark joy?
Yeah.
If it doesn't spark.
Ain't that what
that's what Lindsay kept saying. She was Marie Kondoing the situation. Yeah. She was like, does this spark joy? We'll throw it away. And I felt a way about Lindsay saying, get rid of his parents' china.
Yeah, I did too.
I was like,
That's your folk stuff, man.
I am the only part of my parents' relationship that's left because my dad's gone and my mom is not really all here.
Yeah.
And so this is my way of having something of theirs that I can continue on with. And she's like, does it spark you joy? Girl, get out my face. I'm keeping this china.
Right.
It's my mama's.
Yeah.
So I did feel a way about that. They go over to Lindsay's apartment and we met all of 27.
Mark put her out though. Let's not forget that.
Oh yeah, 'cause she pissed him off.
Yeah, he was like, you gotta go.
I can see you doing that to me.
Yeah.
I can see me doing that to you. If you come in and you're trying...
We would have had a better plan than that.
But if you come in and you're trying to help me and your helping is breaking things, you need to leave.
Yeah.
I can break things on my own.
Mm-hmm.
So bye. You can go.
Mm-hmm.
So I go to Lindsay's house. We meet all 37 of her plants. And she, for some reason, feels like she needs to take the squatty potty. Like out of all the things in the house, she's like, take the squatty potty. Mark is looking around her apartment. He's like, you said I'm going to move in what you wear.
Yeah, it's going to be a tight squeeze for them.
She was saying that she has under the bed storage, like her bed raises up.
But it's full.
Right.
It's like you don't have under the bed storage there.
I have things under the bed.
Right.
I don't know where Mark's things were supposed to reside. I guess Mark was supposed to get rid of his
storage.
things.
Mark's things are going into a storage.
Mark was supposed to get rid of his things because at some point she probably going to eliminate that storage bill because it goes up every 8 months or 6 months or whatever it is. She was going to put all his stuff out until they found somewhere bigger and better to live. They get back to the neutral apartment. We find out, not that we didn't know this, but all 5 of the cats
are moving in.
I
bet you I feel like their house probably stinks.
Probably smells like cat. Lindsay did let us know that Mark's grandma isn't doing well now and that his landlord is still being crazy because he has not moved out. He hasn't vacated her premises. He's just removed a few things and he's still got to come back and get all of his stuff out.
Yeah.
She told Mark that she feels like she's getting 2 different versions of him, which I get. I'm going through some stuff and you're like, but what about me, Mark? Me, I'm here. I'm your wife. Hey, look at me. And I get it. I only got so much time to devote to you because I still gotta go to work and I gotta move out of this apartment and my grandma's not doing well. My mama can't help her because my mama's not doing well. Like, I felt like Mark was like that Tyrese meme crying, what more do you want from me? Mm-hmm. Because that's what it felt like to me with her and all of her stuff.
Yeah, she was more so nagging and it was getting on his nerves more than anything. Like you putting more and more stress on me. I understand we're supposed to be working on some things, but life happened. Mm-hmm. And this is how we need to deal with it. Like, I don't get what her argument was. As far as like the different people that she was getting.
So Pastor Cal came in to talk to them and Lindsay was outside meditating. When they came in the house, they had the conversation. She said, we went from having sex to not even holding hands. And he said that he's afraid to tell her things. He says that they have an intimate moment and then something happens. So she acted like she didn't know what he was talking about. And he's like, okay, let me tell you what happened. We have sex. You blow up at Elijah in the airport. Mm-hmm. We have sex. You get into an argument with Katina. We have sex. You want to fight me at the romantic dinner. Maybe we should just stop having sex.
Let's cut a few things out here.
So I get it. She doesn't connect those moments. She's like, we had sex, but that stuff just was going to happen regardless because that just was going to happen.
Yeah.
And so Pastor Cal says, hey, you need to listen to what he's saying. He's like, we're having an intimate moment and then you immediately act out.
You don't see an issue with that.
Cause, effect. Not saying that they're actually cause and effect, but they happen 1, 2. 1, 2.
Yeah.
He's involved in the 1 and then he gotta clean up the 2.
Yeah.
Can you reel back on the 2?
Right.
So he doesn't have to clean it up. So she cries. They finally get her to understand that she has taken over his life and he needs to process things, and because they're going at 2 different speeds, which is what I was saying earlier. Like, she definitely has a let's get it done attitude.
Yeah. But
her let's get it done attitude is stopping his let's evaluate the situation. And because it's stopping his let's evaluate the situation, one of them got to figure something out.
Right.
And he wants it to be Lindsay because he's like, can I think about it for a second? Like, you just started coming in my house breaking stuff. And I was like, I got at least 72 hours to figure this out.
Right. Like, what's going on here?
But so they have their come to Jesus with the pastor. And basically they just need to peel back the layers of their relationship and figure it all out. So it gives them some homework to do, essentially. Next up, Jasmina and Michael. So.
Oh, God, Michael, what are you doing, brother?
I don't know. I don't know. Okay, so Jasmina starts off asking him, has he ever lived with a woman before?
Yeah, we clearly saw him say no.
My eyes did not deceive me, nor did my ears.
Mine neither.
Jasmina says, hey,
I live with a guy.
You know that my roommate is a guy. You also have met him.
Yeah.
He was at our wedding. And then they flash back to this nice scene of her saying, that guy right there, that's my roommate.
Yeah.
No secret. Starting out day 1, I live with a man.
Yeah.
Nothing between us, but I live with a man.
Yeah.
Michael, have you ever lived with a woman?
Nope.
No. Me?
No.
No. Well, he hasn't lived with a woman. He lives with 2 women.
2 women. 2 women. 2 of them.
So, Jasmina pulled a Zach. And we get back from this honeymoon. We'll take some time to figure out where my dog is going to go. And not just I'm going to take some time like today. Like, I'm going to not sleep at the neutral apartment for like 3 days. What
she said?
She was like, a few days.
Oh.
So I'm going to take more than 1 day to figure out where my dog is going to go because I need some time away from Michael to process things. Right. And so after that, they go to his apartment. They're looking around his room. She's like checking his closet and stuff. They're sitting on the couch and one of the roommates comes out and was like, oh, they filming. Goes back in the room. She was like, who is that? My roommate. Thought you said you never lived with a woman.
Right.
Oh yeah, I got 2 female roommates.
No, it didn't. Did it come out right there?
No, the one came out right there. The second one came out at the house.
Right.
So on the after party, his redemption of self was he was trying to say, no, he's never lived with a romantic partner. I was like,
that's not hard to say.
Jasmina didn't say that her guy that she lived with was a romantic relationship.
Right. It's just a guy.
It's her best friend. And with it being her best friend, kind of like if me and Ace lived together.
Yeah, but
I would say,
right,
and live with a boy.
Right. The thing, like, it's like, man, you see so much promise between Michael and, well, I do. and I want them to succeed.
You see promise in Jasmina's beauty.
Yeah. But it's like, Michael, why not say, hey, she says, I have a male roommate. Yo, I got 2 female roommates. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? This is where y'all have the conversation where y'all met, you know, how that happened. That's just more into having something to talk about, you know, and then it can lead into a conversation. Well, how would you like for us to live? Like, that's the thing. It's like, I don't understand people when they don't take the opportunity to have a conversation about a certain topic. Like, you don't know where your conversation is going to lead up. And this is an opportunity that you're actually meeting someone. Mm-hmm. So, like, as you're trying to get to know a person, it's okay to ask questions that you necessarily don't really know how to, you know, how you're going to respond to the answer, but it helps you get to know a person, and it helps beat having the silence, because you never know. You guys could actually have this conversation and then it turns into a joke. And that be something you guys will forever hold on to in conversation and can laugh about 20, 30, 40 years from now.
The way Jasmina said, Michael.
Oh, she meant it.
When Pastor Cal was there.
Oh, she meant it.
She's not going to joke with anything with him.
Not about that.
Nope.
Not about that. He's definitely digging a hole and that he probably can't get out of, and it's going to be really tough. And I lean a lot of it on him because it's the way that he's like, I don't know about the parts where she was like, he was yelling at her.
She said he does it off camera.
Yeah.
So this was when they get with Pastor Cal.
Oh, yeah. I'm kind of jumping around with them.
Well, I was there. I was just...
Oh, okay. So... Go ahead. I don't know, like, how he talks to her, but she said he yells at her off camera. I'm pretty sure she ain't taking that lightly. You know, I'm pretty sure it's not a, you yell at me, I ain't gonna yell back at you type
Something
of deal.
About that, to me, the Jasmina that I see on screen is definitely, you yell at me, you gonna get it right back.
Right.
Like, I'm not finna play with you.
Right. So.
And like he was saying, you might not like the way that I speak to you. You might not like my tone, but I didn't raise my voice. And he basically was saying it like, you know, you wouldn't be going for that. So why are you playing?
Yeah.
I don't know how true either statement is, but from what I've seen on the television screen, it looks like if he's going to get up to 10, she going to go to 25.
Yeah.
Because what you not finna do is yell at her.
You ain't finna outdo her.
You're not going to yell at her.
But like, it's like, man, it's the way this would work is if you just be straight up. In this instance, right? Mm-hmm. You have to tell the truth, and you have to be nice, you know, about it. You have to ask how you have to ask, how do you approach things? Because one, you want to be safe as far as like not trying to ruin the relationship, but two, you also trying to understand. And if you come off first, you're already in the doghouse for lying, and then you come off being, what's the word, condescending or mean, aggressive is the word she used.
She been talking to her BFF, Lissa.
You use you come off being aggressive towards her. That's just a big turnoff, and it defeats what you're trying to do. You see what I'm saying? So, it's hard to be like, for me, it's hard to say in this week that Jasmina was very cold. No, it felt like Jasmina was just giving what was given to her. You know, so
essentially the advice that Pastor Cal gave them was, in the moment when Michael feels that Jasmina is putting a wall up, he needs to tell her in that moment that, hey, I am not your enemy. We're on the same team. Let's act like we're on the same team and try to work at things together. I don't know if that's going to work, but...
Yeah, I don't know. It's hard. Like, Michael has a lot of changing, and Jasmina has to
Change,
but she has to bring down her quickness to anger. Mm-hmm. I want to say her quickness to feel like he's talking down or being aggressive with her, mm-hmm. when it's just how he talks, mm-hmm. So.
You could also argue that he needs to try a gentler approach.
He definitely does. It backfires, but I mean, you have to try.
God bless him. Last but not least,
man, it's a first, is it?
What
we in with Noe and Steve?
Oh, yeah, probably. Yeah. I don't remember. Noe has gotten on my nerves this episode. Everybody's gotten on my nerves in one way or another.
Yeah.
Noe's gotten on my nerves this episode with the dog and the kids.
Oh, the dog gets on my nerves. Period. Like, how you, like, what is it? She was like, the dog sleeps anywhere he wants to.
Sushi sleeps with his face to her face. So she's saying Sushi is going to sleep between us. If Sushi sleeps between us with her face to Noi's face, that means her tail and butt is in Steve's face. I don't want dog booty in my face.
Right.
I don't want dog breath in my face in the morning either. I don't want nobody's breath in my face in the morning. But don't want the dog's breath in my face in the morning either. And I don't want the dog's butt in my face either.
Steve doesn't want to pick up the dog's boo-boo.
I wouldn't either. That's not one of the things that, like, Steve doesn't have a dog for a reason. Mm-hmm. Like, this is not on my list of things that I want to do. He didn't say he wouldn't walk the dog. He was just like, I don't want to do that. I think
that's a selfish idea too.
What?
Like, of Noe to be like, yeah, he's gonna sleep with us. Like, why would you like, you have to change something.
Steve was literally like, the dog, Sushi can sleep in your face. Why don't we get her a raised bed on the side of the bed?
Right.
On your side of the bed.
Right.
And Steve was he walked into the house and he looked at that bed and he was like, I ain't gonna fit in that. That looked like it was a full-size bed. I don't know how tall Steve is, but he's not full-size bed tall. He's king-size bed tall. Yeah. And you want to make this space even smaller by putting a dog in between us.
Yeah, nah, that ain't gonna fly.
And Steve was trying to, like, be as nice as he could.
Yeah.
But it wasn't working.
I would have been like, we got to talk about that.
So they go to Steve's apartment and Nora was like, he has gym equipment everywhere. I was like, kind of what happens when you live alone. Like, if you don't need to make space to accommodate anyone else and anything else, mm-hmm. you work out where you are.
Yeah.
You might be next to my dining room table.
Right.
That would just be something that they have to figure out moving in together. She also didn't like that he had LED lights everywhere. I laughed. We don't have LED lights everywhere, but we definitely have LED lights on TVs around here. And it's one of those things that Tommy wanted, and who am I to argue with it? Like,
right.
As long as I don't have to buy the lights, I don't care. Put them up.
I show you how to use it.
And I never turn them on.
Right. Apparently, me neither.
But they're there.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
that's funny.
Just one of those things. Pastor Cal comes over and I don't remember how they got on the subject of kids. I think he was talking about her views being too narrow and her being too uncompromising. And she says that she will not compromise on having 3 kids. And I was like, Noe has never been pregnant before.
Yeah.
Noe has never had a child before. And she's like, everybody in my family has 3 kids. And I'm like, girl, it might stop with you.
Yeah.
It really might stop with you. I think that Pastor Cal said that they put Noe with Steve because he was more analytical. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, I don't even want to just consider him being analytical in this situation. I just want him to, I think that he's looking at the moving parts. Like, what if a child is special needs?
That puts a lot more pressure on
you. Can't just throw the baby away.
Right.
Oh, I don't want that one.
Right.
He's like, what if a child takes more resources than we have to give? And he's not even talking about money, but just like time and attention. Like, you just don't know what these kids need. And what if, as Pastor Cal said, what if you can't get pregnant? Nobody knows they can't get pregnant until they try to get pregnant. So it's just one of those things. It's like having a very rigid thing. It's kind of like comparing her to Elijah with the my wife must cook every day. Yeah. She's like, my husband must give me 3 kids. If he does not give me 3 kids, this is going to be a terrible marriage. What if y'all get to number 2 and be like, I'm good? Yeah. Like, you just never know where you are in the spectrum of wanting to be a parent until you get there. Yeah. And like, I was talking to a mom friend of mine who just had her 3rd baby. And she was like, I really wanted 4 kids when I first started having kids. But she was like, it's nothing wrong with the 3rd baby. Like, there's no special needs or anything like that. But she was like, baby number 3 is just taking so much out of us as a toddler that I do not want to do this again. Right. And her husband was like, our family feels complete at 3. I get it. And I'm like, what if y'all come to that conclusion? You're just going to have another one just because you was like, 3 was the number. Yeah. Like, I just want her to chill out on that.
I feel like it's a lot of growing to do with that.
So much growing to do. The sushi and the kids. Yeah. No, I ain't never breastfed a baby at 2:00 in the morning.
Nah. What did they talk about with his finances? Because I know that was brought up.
Yeah, after the kids, they get some money, and he says that he has opportunities to make money, and he named the different ways that he can make money, like still doing what he was doing previously, as well as doing photography and I think he said videography and something else. Yeah. He's like, people reach out to me all the time to make money. And I looked up his previous job description that he had in December, which I guess would have been December.
You can find that?
Yeah, they put their job descriptions on the screen. Like, he told her at the wedding what he used to do. Yeah. So I looked up the average salary in Massachusetts for what he did. Steve could bring in $200,000 a year in that previous industry. Steve was still living in an apartment, and it wasn't a like lavish apartment or anything. So Steve probably had some money saved, which is why he could, because I think they got married in August. He could take 8 months and not work full time. 4 of those months traveling, and he was still doing freelance things. So I don't think that Steve doesn't have resources. I think that Steve is looking at his life as, I never got the opportunity to do this. I'm going to take the opportunity to do this. Yeah. I did this for 4 months, time of my life. I could write a book about it. And I can also still go out and be a photographer. Because I don't know what type of photography he does, but I know what we paid our wedding photographer. Yeah. If he did one wedding a weekend every month,
he'd be all right.
He'd be more than all right. So it's just, you know, when you look at those types, and he wouldn't have to work during the week except for booking stuff. Yeah. So when you look at it from that vantage point, okay, what's the biggest thing? Steve doesn't have health insurance. Yeah. Outside of that, if he's got the income, he has the resources to make the income that he wants to make. Whenever he gets tired of gig economy, he can go back to doing what he was doing. And he'll figure that out. Like, I think it'll come back around. But as he said to her, like, I can make money. Like, I don't have an issue with that part. It's, you know, do I want to go back to making money in this way? Yeah. Nobody tells a stripper, you got to go back to making to stripping because you're not making the money that you was making at first.
Right.
Nobody says that to them.
That's a hell of an analogy, man.
But am I right?
You're absolutely correct.
And we living in the strip club capital of America, we know what strippers can make. But nobody would tell a stripper, girl, you got to go back to that because you ain't making the money you used to make.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing with Steve. I don't think he has to go back to it. I think that he could just make a different type of living.
Yeah.
One that would make him happier.
No, I'm with
I feel like I'm very team Steve out of everybody on this season.
Yeah, I can see that.
I'm team Steve and I'm team Mark.
Mark.
Yeah, Mark. M-A-A-A-K. No R. Mark.
The R is silent.
Mark the Shock.
That's funny.
I got nothing else.
Yeah, I'm yep.
Looking at these sound waves, I talked a lot.
You did. But it's okay. It's all good. You had a lot to say.
I did. Still team Steve. Still team Mark. I want to be team Noy, but them 3 kids just threw her out for me.
Man.
The 3 kids and Sushi just was like, kick her to the curb.
Yeah.
But not Mark, Steve, you work with that because that's your wife, not mine. What is mid-season? 10?
Yeah, I would assume so.
All right, so 3 more episodes. We'll do new predictions.
Yeah. You got one of my predictions.
Well, they've already had their decision. Today is my decision day. Yeah. Anything else?
Nah.
Oh, one thing. Tommy, him.
Yeah.
Started doing reviews for Bel Air.
Oh,
which is on...
It's on the other channel, 3 App Media.
No. What channel does Bel Air? I mean, what?
Oh, Peacock.
The Peacock app. I refused to get into this with him, and then I got into it.
Yeah, it's dope.
I really hate myself for this. I didn't get into like the episodes, but I would like peek in and have questions.
Yeah.
But he started reviewing that. So episodes 1 through 3 is already up on his other channel, which is the 3 Amp Media Studios channel. If you're on the August Love Story page and you scroll across to channels, it's the first one.
Yeah.
So you can just click on it and go straight to that review.
Right.
Seems like he's having fun reviewing TV shows without me.
That first one, it was a struggle without you. I'm sorry, guys. I'm gonna get into it a little bit more. But that first review, like I struggled doing it. But I got through it. And then I was like, this is too long. I'm monotone. Anyway, just go enjoy it. Bear with me. The next one is going to get better and better and better because my partner in crime wasn't with me on that one. So, but yeah, 3M Media Studios. Go check that Bel Air review out on that channel.
Sundays with Jack and Glenn, Talisa Ray, and Chloe Johnson. One or both of us will be in for those on Sundays, just depending on how life goes with the 2-year-old. And that's it for updates, right?
Yep.
You have a question for this week.
I don't. I don't.
You've been really good about helping me give a question.
I have nothing. Like, let's see. I feel like I pick on Michael and Jasmina a lot, so I don't want to pick on
Michael
them.
was wrong. There's nothing that we can say. He lied.
Nothing to question there. Let's see. Let's go with Olajuwon and Katina. Like, how does Olajuwon makes it where his line of thinking can line up with
what's gonna happen?
I don't know, man. What's your thoughts about Olajuwon's misogynistic mindset? Just kind of curious as to what people think.
And this isn't a question for the people, but this is a question that I have. I wonder what
if. Let's try.
Thank you, Sesame Street. I wonder what Katina's like list of meals that she can make is, because she's got the
we know spaghetti is one of them.
That's everybody's stuff. Like everybody can boil some noodles, throw a can of sauce on top of some ground beef and be like spaghetti.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder, like, she says she's not a good cook. It's like, are you not a good cook or do you just not like to cook? Because those are two different things. It makes me wonder, and that has absolutely nothing to do with what I want to talk about in the comments. Just thought that came up about them. Anywho, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel, turn on notification bell, like this video, and then comment down below.
You share this video.
Yep, that too. All right, y'all. This is taking way too long, so good night. Bye.
Peace.